Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Kajika Trades. I know I haven't posted in a while, but decided to go over my IWM trades with you guys today just because I felt like I had a clear approach to the market and wanted to share that with you guys. So the first trade I took is on this arrow here, 936. So what I noticed here is we had this big gap up in IWM coming to the market. So we closed around 206, had some decent buying coming into the close, gapped up big, and continued to run all the way up to this 210 level. So we know that psych levels usually are whole dollar levels, and then especially those in the $5 increment, so 210, 215, 205. So what I was looking for is could we hold over the 210 level? And obviously you can see this wick here, couldn't hold. So what I did is I took the entry here. My fill was 209.89, so I actually took it the second this bar pretty much opened. And my reason for taking this trade was couldn't hold that 210 psych level, had this pullback from that level, came up, tried to retest it. Once again, couldn't. Took it right as we started rejecting off the upper deviation of VWAP here. I scaled out at 30 cents, so 209.56 was my first scale out, so almost right at the bottom of this. And then I scaled out another 50 at 209.51, and that was really because I wanted to get back down to this VWAP. I really didn't think we were going to retest 50% of this move up just because of the power that we were coming into the market with. So I took off 50 there and left my other 50 for break even, which got stopped out here on this 940 bar. Then I noticed, we came back in the VWAP like I wanted, gave a little pullback. Now I want to see, are we going to go higher? So ideally, I probably should have taken this 942 bar, but I waited for a little more confirmation. I took the 944 bar. I took it as this wick started coming up and actually as it went green. So my fill here was 210.11. So a little higher up from this one. So 210.11. I got a quick push up into here, took off 100 shares at 210.38 was the fill I got, so almost at the top of the wick here. What I didn't like about this was the fact that we were failing to get to the 210.50 level. Once again, psych level. I thought we should have had enough buying interest, especially with this powerful move that we were going to blow past here, but we didn't. So once again, held the other 100 to break even stop, and they got stopped out not long after. And what I began to notice here is we were putting in some where's the brush? Brush is here. So we have this level here, higher high, but a weaker higher high, and especially because we couldn't get over this 210.50 level. So I opened a short position on this bar here. My fill here was 209.85, so right pretty much at the 8 moving average. And I took off 30 once again at plus 30 cents, so right around here, 55 bottom of this candle. Then I actually did go ahead and add 100 shares on this bar as we came down, but eventually those would have got stopped out, and you just got to deal with that. And then I cut the rest of that 100 here at break even, and then I lost $25. So small loss, but I was willing to risk it for a short. But what I really should have recognized is the chances that we go up and then reverse it like we did here, very unlikely. We did need a little pause consolidation to confirm that we couldn't go higher before we did ultimately give the short. So then again, I sat there and I waited and I took this bar here. What I noticed is in this, 10 minutes, because I'm on the 2 minute time frame here, 10 minutes of consolidation, we have all these wicks. Wicks to the downside, wick to the downside, wick to the upside, wick to the upside. Couldn't really break out of this 8 moving average VWAP area. And then on this 958 bar, we finally got a bar that closed with a strong close. And I took this 10 o'clock bar pretty much the second we went red. So I got filled here at 209.71. So yeah, pretty much right as this bar went red because I was like, okay, we got our bar a little bit, come up. Once again, couldn't get over the 8. Let's watch this thing turn over and flush down. And we did exactly that. So I took off 30 or 100 shares of my 200 share position at plus 30 cents. So 209.43, which, coincidentally right around this 20 moving average. I then held 100 shares and I took off 50 at 208.88, which is right here. And the reason I did that is about 50% of this whole move, I believe. A little bit less of it, but right here. So on this bottom flush out, or maybe it was this candle. I'll have to fill my order logs and see. But that's where I took off another 50 shares. Then I have 50 shares running, and I took them off on this bar here. So the reason being was we came in and we were testing 50% of this big opening bar. So let me drag this all over here. So we're testing 50%, broke below it, couldn't hold that, and we came and put this wick up. On this wick, I exited the other 50 shares. My fill was 208.77, so maybe it was probably when this was coming back down. And that was where I was at that position. And, thankfully, I kind of almost timed the bottom perfectly there, but, we came down a little bit, put some nice double wick here, couldn't continue lower. And, then at that point, I was looking for the, rebound to go higher. The reason being was I was looking at this as we were putting in a higher low. So there's our two higher lows. Get this bar. Probably should have taken this, especially when we engulfed the prior three bars, kind of around this 208.75 level. Would have been a nice entry. But I waited once again for some confirmation. And, waiting for confirmation is never a bad thing. We came up, came back down, retested the 8. Once again, couldn't break below. Put in a nice wick on the close of that bar. And I entered on this bar at 209.02 was my fill. So I was risking to the 8 here because I was like, okay, if this rolls over, we're going to see a quick flush below the 8, I'll get out. But, we get a nice continuation, trusting the power of these bars coming in at this higher low. And you can see that we made a nice rip. I actually took off 30, took off 100 shares of my plus 30. So right around the 20 moving average again. I think it might have been on this red bar that I took it out. And then the other 100 shares I just let run. I took off 100 when we got to the double top on this bar here, and then, or not 150, and then I left the other 50 go for the new high, and somewhere one of these bars, it got stopped at. I put a limit order and just walked away. It was like 210.55 I put it in at, so somewhere, probably this bar. And yeah, those were my trades for the day. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. But yeah.